Hello, I'm Yonden Lhatoo at the South China Morning Post. Please note this very important disclaimer before I start. I'm not saying anything against the vast majority of protesters who continue to oppose the government's now suspended extradition bill by using peaceful means. You have to protect yourself with full context before you say anything these days, because the age of intolerance is at the zenith in Hong Kong. And even raising an eyebrow at an out-of-control minority's propensity for anarchy and violence in the name of democracy gets you tarred and feathered as a nefarious agent of the Chinese Communist Party and an enemy of humanity. So again, not including those who have been taking to the streets in historic numbers to shock our lame duck government out of its arrogance and complacency, let's talk about the open contempt and complete impunity with which some of our younger citizens are now upending the rule of law in this city. It's outrageous enough that a bunch of unhinged youngsters have twice laid siege to police headquarters, the very symbol of order and authority, and humiliated our law enforcers. Now they've taken it to a whole new level, besieging the city's legislature for an entire day, wrecking the building facade and smashing their way inside. They took hours to break in using makeshift battering rams, while riot police stood inside doing nothing and disappeared when these heroes of free speech and expression stormed in and trashed the place. Our authorities looked on helplessly, the rest of the city and the world watching this unprecedented invasion and asking how it could happen, while students and young adults exercising their diminishing freedoms desecrated the main chamber and draped a colonial British flag over the podium to amplify just how much regard they have for any notion of one country, while testing the limits of two systems. Also on the day that Hong Kong was marking the 22nd anniversary of its return to China, and the government was hiding from protesters by moving its celebrations indoors when it wasn't really raining outside, some criminal elements among these young champions of liberty were chucking drain cleaner and corrosive powder at police as they were beaten back with tear gas and truncheons. At the same time, even among the seemingly deranged and dangerous mob rugby tackling elderly lawmakers to the ground as they tore their way into the legislature, our reporters in the field found many kids who did not want to storm inside or join the violence. They were just tagging along. I don't know how all this is going to end, but I hope it won't be in tears for everyone. It looks like Beijing has made its bottom line very clear to the Hong Kong government: no bloodshed. That would explain why the law enforcers often have to stand back and let the lawbreakers do their thing, although many are asking whether it's a deliberate and cynical tactic to turn public opinion against the protesters. Or whether this police force can actually cope, which is a very worrying question. Well, they've started arresting people now, and we should let them do their job. This is basic law enforcement in a civilized society. And shame on the Western media and activist journalist hybrids if they start painting these as mass arrests and state repression. They've done enough damage by glorifying or glossing over such misbehavior, lionizing the perpetrators and making excuses for them. We've all heard the "Be water, my friend" slogan. This adaptation of Bruce Lee's philosophy by protesters in imitating the relentless but constantly diverting and shape-shifting flow of water is cool stuff, but they should be careful about letting it get to their heads and waterlog their brains. If the legendary martial artist were alive today, he may well want to tweak his maxim with an added caveat: be water, my friend, but don't be stupid. Thanks for watching.